In July, the Superbikes returned to Oulton Park, and yet again it was Bayliss that set the pace and qualified on pole ahead of Hodgson, Reynolds and Mackenzie, who was on the front row for the second time this year. Walker could only manage 7th, just ahead of Paul Young, again the highest privateer. Max Vincent was brought in by Kawasaki to replace the sacked Steve Hislop, but only managed to qualify on the 3rd row. When the race started, it was the Ducati of Reynolds that took the lead, and not Bayliss. Chris Walker's race came to an abrupt end going into Druids when he lost control of the Kawasaki. Meanwhile, just as it looked like Mackenzie had finally got the Yamaha into a podium position, his luck ran out again. Mackenzie crashed out at the Shell hairpin, injuring his shoulder. Back at the front, it was the Red Bull Ducatis of John Reynolds and Sean Emmett that led the field, and eventually took the team's first ever 1-2 finish.
As the riders line up for round 14, Neil Mackenzie will not start. Mackenzie injured his shoulder slightly, hasn't taken the line, so it's a bad day. Has come out of what appeared to be such a wonderful opportunity for reigning champion Neil Mackenzie. But no mistakes this time for Troy Bayliss, who led from the outset. Looking backwards now from Chris Walker, who's breathing with a bit of difficulty, thinks he might have cracked a rib from round 13, that big crash, but Walker still steaming on very well. Bayliss leads, teammate Hodgson in 2nd. Again, Reynolds, Walker right with them. They are going very well. It's Emmett right there in 5th place again. Look at Walker, he's hungry this time. Chris Walker then on the Kawasaki, desperate to make amends. Fighting hard with John Reynolds, but it's the team riders, the GSE boys, out there in front. Hodgson in 2nd, race leader, pole position man Troy Bayliss, who would not be happy with his 5th place in the first race. And Mackenzie, it didn't look like a bad crash, but Roger Burnett spoke to him. Roger, what did he say?
Yeah, he said that he'd banged his shoulder really badly. It wasn't broken, he didn't think, but he had no power in his arm at all. He couldn't lift his arm up at all, and of course he can't ride one of these 160-mile-an-hour bikes with any kind of injury at all. You don't realise just how physically demanding this is. There is no rest at all at Oulton Park. You mentioned that Chris Walker would perhaps got a suspected broken rib. He'll certainly feel the pain from that as the race goes on. 15 laps around this 2.7-mile circuit is quite considerable.
Well, the man you're looking at behind Walker, in fact, just going past Chris Walker, number 7, Sean Emmett, made no mistakes in the first race. He had a brilliant ride up to 2nd place. It was his teammate Reynolds who took the win. Can they do it again here? But this time it's formation riding yet again for Troy Bayliss and Neil Hodgson. Up to 3rd place goes Sean Emmett, who really is on a charge this time. He's just gone past his teammate John Reynolds, who is now in 4th. So the number 4 Ducati in 4th, Chris Walker still in 5th, James Hayden running well now in 6th place, having got his bike sorted out with a 17-inch front wheel this time, ran a 16.5 first time out, front tyre almost fell apart. Look at Emmett and Hodgson, again they are just unbelievably close. The utmost faith and confidence in each other's riding ability. You could put a cigarette paper just about between them as they go round the hairpin, down towards the Fulston chicane, flicking it through here, and this is the chicane now. Bayliss leads from Emmett, then it's Hodgson. The sun is out here, threatened to be bad weather conditions, but wonderful luck has shone again on the British Superbike Championship as they go down through Knickerbrook.
Down into Knickerbrook, and Emmett's particularly strong into there. The track temperature for this 2nd race at Oulton Park, round 14 of the Motorcycle News British Superbike Championship, is much higher than it was for round 13 earlier today. The riders have chosen different tyres. I know for a fact that Bayliss and Hodgson have gone for a softer rear tyre in the hope that they are going to get more grip. We'll have to wait and see.
Oh, look at Emmett taking a big look and taking the advantage. And the crowd on their feet here for Sean Emmett as he takes the lead from the Australian. So the man from New South Wales came here with a 31-point championship lead, extended that, of course, in the first race because Walker crashed. And we're with Walker now as James Hayden, number 8, closes on the Suzuki. Oh, and another big shake of the head from the Suzuki. It does appear, Roger, to be a little bit unstable when questions are asked of it.
Well, what was happening there was that Hayden was accelerating hard out of Old Hall Corner. The front wheel was slightly in the air and a little bit of pressure on the bars, and now he's going to go past Chris Walker. A little bit of pressure on the bar, made it look like it wiggled, but pretty much in shape, I'd say, to be honest.
Well, after this Oulton Park round, the whole circus moves up to Scotland to Knockhill. That's home ground for Neil Mackenzie. Maybe we will see something from the Scotsman there. I certainly hope so. But it's a five-man race at the front at the moment. More reminiscent, I think, of 125cc racing over the years. It is so close. There's absolutely nothing between the bikes, nothing between the riders. Fantastic ability, and it's a six-man race. I beg your pardon. It's Bayliss, Reynolds, Emmett's out in front. Bayliss fighting back now. Hodgson, Walker having to do a defending job, I think. Ride a tactical race to keep Hayden behind him, and Hayden is not going to stay behind Chris Walker for much longer, I can assure you. Out of Druids, under the bridge, through and up towards Lodge. Now they're moving all over the circuit. Bayliss going for the inside line. Is there an optimum line? It would appear so. Bayliss takes the lead again. Down into second goes Emmett. Still in third, it's Reynolds. Oh, that's Redgate, Privateer, heading up towards Island Bend. Dave Redgate, fortunately, he's okay. Get the bike out of the track because some very fast men are on their way round. That's through on the inside, I believe. Yes, Hayden has gone through. Chris Walker sits back down one further place. There is nothing behind him because they have opened up such a huge lead over the rest of the field. In the rest of that field, Marty Craggill, number 33, Hayden's teammate. But the really quick men are going at it, hammer and tongs. Another fantastic motorcycle news, British Superbike race, Roger.
Absolutely. Chris Walker's struggling a little bit as Emmett takes the lead back from Bayliss as we speak, and we're going to have to keep interrupting ourselves because it's that kind of race. But Chris Walker is riding his number 2 bike. Now that could be affecting Chris's performance in this race. All riders have 2 bikes. They have one that they particularly prefer, and of course Chris crashed his number 1 bike in the earlier race today.
6 wins for Troy Bayliss before today. He has not lifted one yet. Is this going to be his opportunity to move to 7 wins? Reynolds is looking very determined again behind Bayliss. So is Hodgson. Hodgson has gone past Reynolds. Hayden has almost gone past Reynolds. The Suzuki has not let go. This is the Privateer scrap between number 96, Paul Young, and Shane Byrne on the Harris Kawasaki number 50. Shane Byrne moved into the championship halfway through the season from the 600 class, and my goodness me, he's quick. He's gone past a 6th place in round 13, Privateer Paul Young. They're neck and neck up towards the hairpin. The Kawasaki appearing to be every bit as fast, and I suppose that bike, Roger, well put together.
Absolutely, it's actually Chris Walker's bike from last year that Shane Byrne's riding, so an indication of just the level of performance that the Privateers can expect now. And Bayliss, and the bike nearly snapped out of his hands then as he approached Island Bend, the quickest corner on the course there, 145 miles an hour there. But such are the bumps at Oulton Park that the bikes appear to be all over the road. But these guys are masters. They will have the things completely under control. They know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, the television tells fibs, actually, because believe you me, the speeds out there are phenomenal. As Roger said, 145, 150 miles an hour, top gear, that Island Bend. It's just as quick down here. It's about 130. Bayliss elbows his way past Sean Emmett, muscles his way past, knees and elbows, fought his way to the front. That's the way they're going to have to do it. It's going to have to get physical because there's nothing between the bikes, as I've said before. Emmett, though, looking as though, not quite as though he's on his way to work, but he's looking very smooth. He has gone for a different tyre choice, as Roger Burnett said earlier. Is it going to pay off? I think. Look at Reynolds. He too has opted for the same tyre option. Up to third goes John Reynolds, and he looked very close, uncomfortably close to his teammate as they went into Lodge there. Bayliss has got a job on his hands now to fight these other Ducatis off. Hodgson is well in touch. Hayden looked as though he might have just collected another place there on the inside of Hodgson. Yes, he did. No, he didn't. Back in front again goes Hodgson. He went a little bit wide. Hayden went through. Then Hayden missed a gear or something. I don't know. I sometimes wonder if the riders know what's happening. They really go at it. They're so focused. They really are. Look at these two neck and neck as they go down. Oh, they're shoulder charging each other. It's more like rugby. Emmett gave Troy Bayliss a bash with his right shoulder. Move over. That's my piece of road. No, it isn't, said the Australian. Yes, it is, said Sean Emmett. I'm on the inside for the hairpin. I've got the tarmac and I'm in front. He is, only just, marginally. Reynolds in third. They're now easing away just by 2 bike lengths from Neil Hodgson, and still very much in touch is James Hayden. Roger, what a race.
It's absolutely fantastic. There's 5 guys here. Their will to win is phenomenal. Look at them diving across each side of the circuit. None of them want to give anything away. They all form back into formation. 130 mile an hour, lean it right, squirt on the power, through Knickerbrook, up over the blind brow here at Clay Hill before Druids. And if you've got your energy back, Barry, let's take them through Lodge for the last time.
This is the last lap. As Roger said, away they go then under the bridge. And look over the shoulder from Sean Emmett. There's a tail ender ahead of them. Will he stay out of the way? They're choosing all sorts of light. A foot off the footrest. Bayliss has gone through. He's gone wide. Emmett's stolen the march. Can Reynolds grab second? Fighting back again. There's contact there. I don't know who got the win. It was neck and neck. Emmett thinks he's got it. Emmett thinks he has taken the win. And oh, that's an almighty crash. That's Paul Young, the privateer, coming in on the last lap. That is an almighty crash. And the marshal signalling for assistance. Bayliss too thinks he's got the win. It's anyone's guess, as they say in the horse racing game. This has to be a photo finish. Sean Emmett got the verdict by 1/1000th of a second from Troy Bayliss. Phenomenal. In fact, half a second separated the top 5.